So today I've got 3 exercises for you which will allow you to potentially for the first time ever feel what the correct way of achieving lag is like in the golf swing. Before we get started, we have to go through exactly what is lag and how we produce it and how we create it. Let me hold this golf club. I'm going to hold it at the top and I'm gripping that pretty tightly. So if I move my hand this direction, there is no lag there. The club head is moving in exactly the same direction as my hand. So how do I actually create lag? Well, the key thing is I don't create it. I just have to do the right things to allow it to happen. Watch what happens if I suddenly hold the top of the golf club at this time with 2 fingers. Now the wind's blowing the club a little bit. Watch what happens now as I move my hand away this direction and forwards. Well, now you can see that the club head is lagging behind my hand. I'm not intending to do that. I'm not trying to do it. It's just because what I'm doing is allowing it. That's such an important message. We don't want to be ever trying to create it and cock the club back or intentionally try and add it in the downswing. That's never going to work. Across your shoulders. The first place that we should have some lag in the downswing is the upper body, so that's my shoulders, should be lagging behind my lower body, which is my hips. So as I get to the top of my golf swing, my lower body should be starting towards the target. You can hopefully see how my lower body is moving forwards and it's rotating. Slightly after that, the shoulders follow, but they are lagging behind. Not what we see in so many golf swings. So often we see a rotation back and the shoulders actually start the movement down. There is no lag. Those golfers really struggle with distance. They often come over the top. They struggle with consistency. If we can get the right sequence in, the right lag, we often find that we get better rhythm, better timing. So there's so many benefits to this. First drill, club across your shoulders, feet together, and I've got a golf ball down there for reference. The idea in this first little drill is you're going to rotate back, and as that grip approaches, from my viewpoint, the ball, I'm going to start and step forwards. Now what's going to happen is the club is moving away, but I'm going to start my step forwards with my hips. And we're going to get some stretch, we're going to get some separation between the lower and the upper. We're going to get that lag. Key thing is I'm not trying to create it, it's just the sequence of events that I'm putting in place create that lag. So it would look a little bit like this. Okay, and I can tell you, even that little exercise, I feel a little bit more of a stretch across my body because my shoulders are turning one way and my lower body is starting to move in a different direction. We're creating that stretch or that lag. That's exactly what we need because it's then when we unwind that we get lots of speed. So the first place that you're going to create some lag in your golf swing is with the lower and the upper, and that little step exercise is brilliant. You can do it anywhere, home, office, back garden, even at the golf course to create the feelings. Where's the second place that lag occurs? Well, the second place that lag occurs is between the upper body, so again my chest and my shoulders, and my arm. I'm going to make this slightly exaggerated, but I want you to watch this. As we get to the top, we know that the lower body starts, but then the upper body is second. Watch what happens to my arm as I do that. My upper body starts and my arm stays in place. It's lagging behind. So it actually gets pulled into my chest a little bit. Hopefully you can see that there. Now very quickly after that, the arm starts to accelerate off the chest, but it's that lag that's so important. Watch what's happening as I do this. I get to here, my shoulders start, but my arm stays in place. My hand and my arm move more across my chest. You can see my arm being squeezed into my chest as I do this. Again, what we do will allow this to happen, not intentionally. So often what we see is a lack of rotation early on in the backswing. When we see a lack of rotation, the arms do all of the work. When the arms do all the work, that lead arm gets pulled into the chest very early. So when we get to the top, it's got nowhere to go. We can't create any lag because it's already across the chest. What happens then? We start to throw the club away. We start to move in the poor order, in the poor sequence, really struggle. So in order for you to feel the correct lag in this transition with the arm and the chest, you're going to do a very simple little exercise. You're going to take your lead arm, place it down exactly where a golf club would be, and you're going to place finger on the bicep, thumb on your chest, and you're going to reference the distance that your arm is from your body. What we don't want is we don't want early in the golf swing that arm to be moving across the chest. That's going to make it very difficult to get the right sequence in. What we do want is the rotation to come from the body. Notice how that distance is staying the same. My finger and my thumb are still in contact with my body as they were at the start. Once I can make this movement, I've now got some room where the arm can go across the chest. So I'm going to make this movement, and as I feel like my arm gets to around about this area here, I'm going to start to turn my upper body towards the target. And what we should get is we should get that arm lagging behind. And again, you can see that there. To give yourself a little bit more of a feel for that, just add in a golf club. Adding in a golf club just adds a little bit of weight, and it means that that arm is going to work across the chest a little bit more. So same process, back, and again, you can see how my arm gets pulled into my chest, squeezing that logo that you can see there. Again, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just creating a movement and the right sequence so that as I transition, it happens naturally. So important. I know I've stressed it a few times, but it is really important that we do it in that way. So the arm lagging across the chest is the second place that we should have lag in the golf swing. What's the third place? Well, the third place is the club head and the hands. What we are looking for in the transition is we want the hands to be moving downwards towards the golf ball, but the club head still moving away. So we start to increase or decrease, depending on how you look at it, this angle here. We start to go from wider to narrow. We have to have the wrists in the right state. We have to have them fluid in order for us to do this. Now, for you to feel this little exercise, we're going to have no wrist set in the backswing, lots of wrist set in transition. So what would that look like? Well, we're going to go back and we're going to feel like I point the club shaft directly up towards the sky. You can see that there. But as I transition from backswing to downswing, I'm going to let that club head rehinge. And you can see that there, that as I do that, I'm starting to create that lagging effect in the club head. Up and then down, up and then down. What do we see? We see this movement where the arm goes across the chest, the wrist set, and then we get this. That's almost like what I just did, but in reverse. So, 3 little exercises there which are going to allow you to feel lag between the lower and upper, lag between the upper and the arm, and lag between the hands and the club head. Those are the 3 places that lag occurs, where it should occur, and how you're going to improve your timing, your tempo, and your sequencing. I'm going to try and hit a shot. This will not be the best shot I've ever hit, and I'm not going to intentionally try and hit this particularly far, but we should be able to do all the right things. Actually, not a bad result considering it was a short shot, but that's how you feel the right kind of lag in the golf swing.